Hey, it's JT here. We're coming from Coogee Oval and I've got Harry Burey next to me. It's half-time in first grade Colts. First grade Colts are going down at the moment 15-0 and second grade went down 32-20. So, Harry, you've got a whole bunch of people up here, all your fans, and the fans watching today. First off, when are you back?
So, ran for the first time in a month this morning, so fingers crossed next week we're going to aim for.
Now, was that running home from last night's activities, or was that...
Got a bit of hat hair there. No, I was in the gym. I was responsible at the sponsors' lunch yesterday, so I could get up and do my rehab running, which went all right. The knee felt all right. The lungs were a different story.
So with rehab running for your injury, what does that mean? Just tell people, what do you got to do for that rehab?
Mine's a bit different because it's not soft tissue, so I'll pretty much still be able leg weights and stuff and keep the strength up in my hemis and whatnot. But it's just more about seeing if the knee blows up after, getting stressed for the first time, which so far it looks good.
So does that mean next week's a possibility?
Well, I think so. Obviously that's best case scenario, which fingers crossed. I think it's a case of everyone heals differently with their bones and whatnot. So if everything feels all right at training this week, I should be playing next week. And
you went to training this week. You trained with the boys. You were down there.
Yeah.
What was the feeling like in first grade after that game last weekend?
Obviously, we got the 2 points as a draw and whatnot, but in terms of how we felt after, we pretty much accepted as that was a loss for us. I think not just because of the score, but the way we played. That's probably the worst performance we've put out this year, and probably in a while, we're just out enthused, which is the most disappointing bit. If you can miss an odd pass here and there, you can accept that, but just probably the more mental attitude was the disappointing bit.
Is it tough for the boys? We've had 4 really tough games, and then they've got to bounce back against West Harbour. Was it tough mentally on them, do you think?
You can probably use that as an excuse if you like, but I think as a group we accepted that that's not one. If you're going to put your hand up and say we're playing the toughest club rugby competition in Australia, then you've got to be able to perform back-to-back 5 weeks if you have to.
Yeah, that's great attitude. What about today? We're at Coogee, Randwick. Rarely lose at home. Our boys coming off that draw. How are they feeling? What's your thoughts on today's game?
I think you'll definitely see a lot more emotional energy coming out of the guys. It was probably a kick up the bum that we needed. Training from watching from afar looked good this week. There's a few sort of fresh faces in there. Like Geordie Hay gets his first crack this year, and then Nathan Russell at 12. And I think around that, getting your first start for the year just brings that excitement, which should lift the other players up as well.
So Geordie's coming at 13.
Yeah. So we've had Eri go over with the Tars to Christchurch, which is obviously good for him, and we always love seeing the boys do that. And then so Nathan Russell pushing the 12 and then Geordie into 13, which obviously both guys bring a different skill set to the game, and while we might not be as strong in other areas, they'll bring their own sort of set of skills. Like Geordie and both Nathan run a great line, and so we'll probably be gaining a lot of minutes from them.
I tell you what, if we win today and the Tars lose, we'll know where Eri wanted to be today, won't we?
100%. It'll be disappointing if he doesn't get on for them. Hopefully he gets a crack, because I think he deserves it. But as I said, we love having him here, but if he gets the opportunity over there, that's awesome. All
right, so next week, possibility against Para, you'll be back. Yeah. If not, the week after?
Yeah, so obviously eyeing off next week, but again, it's a long season, so I won't take any risks. But if it feels good, there's no reason why I won't play next week as long as training goes well this week, I think.
And I guess one of the questions everybody wants to know is this. Is Jack Burey your brother, or are you Jack Burey's brother?
Well, I like to think that I was here first, I got him the job, so therefore he's my brother.
All right, well, you've heard it here live, right here this afternoon. Thanks, Harry, for joining us. We're going back out to first grade Colts now for the second half. Thanks, mate.